The next page to take a peek at that I just posted for the Freak one is the digital modeling and sculpting links and notes. So if you click on this one, it should take you to the page that has a link to Google Slides doc that you can open up in Google Slides, but it'll also run natively inside the browser here. So if you would like to try Maya this semester, not required, but Maya's certainly the most used 3D software package on the planet. Very useful. So it goes through setting up an account, how to install it, and a nice link to all the main modeling tools, quad draw, the different command tools, different selection options, and a best of suite from the modeling toolkit and the crease tool. And this one page covers what I provide in the playlist for the introduction to 3D modeling and animation class. Also goes through the n-gon triangle split for edge loop flow, and something all artists should know about, artists and designers, is the platonic solids and the different side shapes. And you don't have to be a dice throwing D&D nerd to appreciate the amazing shapes of geometrical forms. The one you want to know, though, beyond Maya to get started with is, let me just skip to page 10 here, is Sculptress. So Sculptress for PC, Sculptress for Mac is still free, although Pixelogic purchased them some years ago and destroyed the app and did a poor integration into their bloated software. Unfortunately, it's still available for free. So it does not work on some PCs. I don't know what exactly the issue is. So unfortunate, but you can install it if you have another backup computer. Try it if you have a Mac, because it's just a little light application. It should run. And the other one we'll look at is SculptGL, which is also free. So the main thing here is you just have to memorize a few keys. So with Sculptress, it's ERT, DFG, CVB. If you put your three fingers on the home rows for ERT, DFG, CVB, it flows pretty nicely. And we'll look at Control, Shift, and Alt options, how to zoom in and out. And then you also have SculptGL. This is the one I didn't get a good video recorded for yet that we looked at in class the first day, which we did look at here during class, which was just 1, 4, 5, 7, and 0. So the regular brush, the smooth brush, flatten, crease, and move brush, all of which can be inverted by holding Alt, all of which can be turned into a smooth brush by holding Shift, and then holding X to change the radius, and the C key to change the intensity with the control. So it's like super light, incredibly easy. And I had some people that were concerned about the difficulty of the class. I was like, well, this is, I don't think you can get much simpler than this. This is 5 keys, Control, Alt, Shift. I mean, literally like 12 keys to press, and it's free. And you click on the link, and it opens in the browser. This is the whole interface. So, I mean, this is the minimum you would use for the class for digital sculpting. So I think it's absolutely incredible and awesome and fun. So if you're intimidated by ZBrush and all the other stuff, don't sweat it. Just use this, because you can't go wrong with SculptGL. But let's look at the how to use it. So I have my shortcut key, or I have my keystroke program turned on, so that'll make things much easier for us, and we can jump into doing some very quick digital gestural sculpts. So open your notes or print them out, or just write them on your own notebook. Just write down the brushes you need to do, 0 through 9, or 1 through 0 is a better way of putting it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0. The E key is your translation tool that we looked at. It's the move, rotate, scale tool. N to invert the brush. So this little bit here, this is all the notes you need to make this work. And remember, this is a stripped down version of Nomad Sculpt. So if you have an iPad with an Apple Pencil for less than $20, Nomad Sculpt is incredible. I would use it in class if I knew everybody had an iPad and an Apple Pencil. The other thing you can look at for Sculptress, I have 2 videos up in the 3D modeling animation series. video number 12 and video 13. They're each, this one's 22 minutes, and the Dragon Head demo is 39 minutes. And each one of these runs through Sculptress, which I do prefer, but unfortunately it doesn't work for everybody. So in this one, we run through like it's just a real basic helmet shape, which you can make out of a sphere clay. And then we go through how to subdivide and basically sculpt the whole head bust in just 20 minutes. And the eyes are horrible. I'll redo this one. It's kind of embarrassing. But then the dragon head, same thing. We just kind of go through the digital clay and pull. It does spikes and teeth and horns really well. And then over here we do the masking tool. And we do scales and pull the scales out and create some really fun surface texture. And then in the later videos, of course, you can go through those and we can retopologize and do all that fancy stuff. But that's all. I'm just letting you know it's there. So if you want to play around with Sculptress, we're going to use SculptGL for this. So for this one, the file, all these file, a scene, import, this should be pretty straightforward. So if you can add an object, you can save it, save as an OBJ, you can save as a sculpt SGL file. In the scene, you can make it clear the scene out, and you could do a new scene. You can start off with a sphere. You could start off with a cylinder. You could start off with a cube. And as you see there, I'm stacking them all together. I can click in between them and alternate between which ones we want. So I'll just clear the scene again, hit OK, and we'll start in here. Just a little blob of round clay, digital clay. W is your wireframe on off key. It is off by default, I believe. Symmetry, however, should be on by default. There's your symmetry button, so I had these collapsed for simplicity's sakes. Rendering, matcap, usually go PBR, and from the PBR you can kind of go in here and play around with some different lighting setups. Moonlights, look at that. Like, it's such beautiful software. It's all running through the browser. Such cool stuff that we have access to. Winter River, here we go. Play around with it, but material captures, playing with which kind of skin, if you want to use clay or pearl, just realize that there is color information in some of these. So green obviously has some green information. Skin tone, some neutral middle of the road skin tone there. Pearl's nice. And but I do like the PBR shows, physically based rendering. And if you don't know what these are, it doesn't matter. Just play around with it and we can talk about it later in class. So PBR's on. Topology, you just have your resolutions. I wish I had the shortcut keys for this memorized, but you want to start with the lowest resolution. This lets you push the clay around. Alt and left mouse button pans, Alt middle mouse button also pans, Alt right mouse button also pans. So just Alt and any of the mouse buttons will pan. Click an empty space, rotates around. And if you want to zoom in and out, I just go with the middle mouse wheel. You can also do a Alt, right click, and then let go to zoom in and out. That's kind of the old way of zooming in and out in ZBrush. So all of this will make sense for you. So you just want to get comfortable moving and zooming in and out. And let's get started. Okay, my adorable little kitty Nixie was insisting on jumping on my lap in the middle of this demo, of course, as soon as she discovered I was doing something of intense concentration that didn't include her. She decided to jump in the middle. Aha. Okay, so the keystroke buttons are going to help a lot with this. So the 1, 4, 5, 7, and 0 keys along with these. So you just got to reference this. I don't want to call it out the whole time, although I might neurotically call them out as we go. So, but yeah, having this keystroke, so Alt and then click. It doesn't do the mouse keystroke, so clicking on empty space with the left click lets you rotate around as long as you're off the model. And then Alt, and then clicking with the middle mouse or the right mouse. Or is it just the middle mouse only? Oh, it works different from the tablet. Okay, so that's good to know. Okay, if you click an empty space and then hold Shift as you rotate, it's going to snap it to the front. If I go down here, it's going to snap to the top. If I go here, it's going to snap over to the side. And unfortunately, it's not reading right now which direction's which, but you can see with the symmetry on under topology, it has, I'll leave up topology and sculpting open. These are the main two you're going to use. So with the lowest resolution topology, this is, remember, each quad is a little square here. Each time you subdivide at one time, each quad becomes 4 more, and then 4 more. It's right up here tracked. So at the top here, it's reading at 1,536 faces, and then you subdivide at 1, multiply times 4, 6,144, multiplied times 4, 24,576, multiplied times 4 is 98,304. All right, and you can always delete the lower or subdivide more. So the trick is to not break your computer browser, because this is running through the browser, right? So we can go File, Save SGL file, and we can go first dig sculpt01 and saving that in my downloads folder. Let's save it in somewhere. I have my little temp folder here that I like to save things into. There we go, and we'll go back down to the lowest. So first thing we'll do is we'll hop to the move tool. So using the move brush is fundamental. So the move brush works a lot and this is something you could do with the mouse too. So I'll set my pen down for a second and I realize this. So if I hold down Alt, right mouse button, and then let go, I can zoom out. If I hold down Alt, right mouse button, and let go of Alt, I can zoom in. So I'm going to just make a general shape of a face. So you can see the little dots provide a point of where I'm touching. So hold down X and then just slide left to right. It makes it bigger or smaller. And I can pull down, left click, I can pull down a jaw. Just go to the side view over here and pull down a little bit more and do the back of the cranial cavity here. So I'm just going to do a quick head. Nothing too fancy. And then maybe go to the top down view here and oh, got a little pucker in the middle right there. So we want to like pull that out. And maybe as soon as you get any lumps like this, I got a little lump right there. Just hold down Shift. And if you hold down Shift and the X key together, you can make it bigger for just a smooth brush. See the tool over there says smooth. That's right over here. So if I shift, it goes smooth, right? And then I can just kind of smooth that out a little bit. There we go. Make sure we don't get any lumpy skulls. So each time you move the clay around, if you're not getting a perfect output, which you almost never do, and especially these little free apps, you want to smooth it out a little bit. So there you go. So get a little head shape there. And if you're not sure, just go File, Save SGL file, save over that file again, and save over it. Sure, there you go. So now I have a basic head. I could play around with that. I'm happy with. Okay, so if I want to actually sculpt some detail on this, I'm going to pop up the resolution, and we'll go to the 1 key, and this should work. We should just be able to sculpt in, and it's pushing in for right now. That means, or no, it's pulling out. My bad, optical illusion there. Hit the W key to turn off the wire, and we'll go right to the middle. So the eyes are exactly 1/2 of the top, between the top and bottom of the skull. The nose is exactly, and I'm pushing out, I'm pulling this clay out. I'm sorry. If I hold down Alt, it's going to do the opposite, and Alt will push back in. So let's do that. So Alt, push in, let go of Alt, and then sculpt down the nose. The nose goes exactly halfway down. That's halfway between the eyes and the chin is the bottom of the nose, and halfway between the bottom of the nose and the chin is the mouth. So there we go. So I've just made a little face, right? And then I can just fill back in this cavity right here. I have the clay brush on, number 1. There's the intensity. Here's on clay mode. And you don't really have to worry about too much more. We could just go in here and quickly sculpt a little nose, go to the side a little bit. And if I go in here, hold down Alt, left click, and then let go and zoom in a bit more, then I can see a bit better. There we go. So I'm bringing out the bridge of the nose, down to the bulb, to the cartilage, the nostrils, and then hold down Shift, and I can, giant shift brush, I can smooth everything out a little marshmallowy. So yeah, don't worry about too much detail yet. Just kind of get the basics down. You know, the mandible, the upper mandible, the nose runs in here, the lower lip. There we go. I saw some of you had already made some pretty darn good faces and expressions on there. Don't worry about it looking pretty. Just have fun with it. Just get used to it. Whoa. So yeah. So if I hold down Shift, it's really intense. So let's lower that down. Let's lower the size down as well. So we don't want to completely erase or melt away our detail as we're working on this. The other thing we could do is scene. We can add a sphere and go to E and grab this little circle right here, and that's going to actually, this little orange circle right here, you might want to use that. So that's going to zoom it, scale it in and out, and move it to the side here, and scale it way down. Just get an eyeball that's a reasonable size, and whatever end handle on the gizmo. So go to the end of the arrow, end of the square, or the perpendicular end of the circle. That's going to dictate which of these is a constraint. So it's only going to move up and down. It's only going to move forward and backward. There you go, like that. There we go. So there's our eyeball. And then if you want to duplicate it, we go and it's a duplicate selection, copy selection. There we go. And now, whoops. Now there's two of them in there. So there we go, two eyeballs. And now when I go and sculpt, hit 1 on the keyboard again, back to my main brush tool, and I'll hit W for the wireframe. So now you can see I actually have eyeballs in there, very deep set eyes for this character, whatever. I'm not worried about it. So I'm just going to bring the, fill in the eye socket around the eye, bring the lower eye socket around. I'm not worried about the tear ducts or eyelids just quite yet. As it's going, hold down Shift and smooth it out a little bit as I go. There we go. Smooth it out. Fill it in, smooth it out. There we go. And yeah, get the cheekbone in there. So bony landmarks, bony protrusions, first thing I'll do is make sure we identify those. Now I'm not liking the PBR rendering on this, so I'm just going to go back up here to the matte cap, material captured, back to pearl. There we go. I can see way better now. Yeah, that's looking really hideous at the moment. So let's fix that. So I'll just go in here and hold down Shift, smooth it all out, just kind of get it, taking a torch to wax, basically, and we'll get in here. And if you want to, we can lower the resolution down. And multi-resolution is, oh, kitty, knocking all my glasses off the table. Hey, I'm not paying attention. You can move over here. Come on. All right. Yeah, we'll just take it to 3 for right now. There we go. So that'll give me something to play around with. And, you know, you can't get caught up in the details, but faces are so fun to make. They really are. That you know, you can't help yourself but make. So like these are just way too small. I think I made the eyeball way too small. So let's just grab that and let's blow it up a little bit more, and then just delete that one, and then duplicate it. Control D. I think. Whoops. Dang. Thought I had it on the move. There it goes. Got to click on the handle very precisely. There we go. Bring that over. And probably still too small, but if I could follow my own advice all the time, I'd be a millionaire. There we go. And then we'll push in the cavity here. And the nose, maybe bring that back up again. And we use the crease tool next. So E is crease, so we can crease back behind the nostril. And hold down Alt, will do the opposite. So crease to do the middle of the lips here. There we go. And then Alt, the opposite, is going to pull up a crease. So it's going to do the opposite. It's going to actually pull up the detail. And that is you know, the gist of this. You can really do a lot with this, just a little bit of tool work here. Hold down Shift, smooth it out when it gets really wonky. Go back to 1. You know, if there's adding detail, you can hold down Alt and push the detail in very quickly like that. And my cat is relentless tonight. Oops, undo that. X. And yeah, my tablet. The tablet drivers, tablets right here. You may have some problems with this free stuff that doesn't really work perfectly right out the can. You may have to plug your tablet in and redo it a few times. So just kind of accept that. We'll put the cheek detail here. And I might be best off just not trying to do the eyeballs right now. Don't even worry about them. But I'm switching back and forth between my mouse, unfortunately, and my tablet. So, of course, right when I go to record, my cat attacks me and my tablet driver is not working perfectly. So, aha, joke's on me. All right, go back behind the nostril again. Go back to 1 and the bulb underneath here. We can subdivide one time here, give it even more resolution, which you probably are going to need underneath the nostrils. So hold down on Alt, right click, and then let go of Alt. That zooms in. And we can hold down Alt with the main brush, get a little bit smaller with X. And Alt is going to push in with the number one with the regular brush. Get that nostril pushed in there a little bit, go around to the side, angle. And just I'm doing a face right off the bat. It's probably the hardest thing to sculpt, but just go for it. Just have fun. And you have the anatomy packet in front of you. Not even delving into that just quite yet, but you definitely can go in and do something really. Most people just have an awesome experience the first time they do this. They're like, "Well, I didn't even know this was possible." Or even if you've been using Blender or Maya, you're going, "Oh, this is a little lightweight, like faster, easier version way of doing this than going in and really trying to master some giant software application that." Oh man, it's like not working with my tablet. I have to switch back and forth from my tablet. My mouse is really annoying. Yeah, but yeah, it's much faster and easier than trying to master a larger application like Maya or ZBrush right off the bat. There we go. So we'll go back down the lower sub D, back up a little bit, and then smooth all that out. And I think my cat's finally gonna chill on the chair next to me now. Yeah, you okay? Yeah, can you get me? All right. So yeah, that's kind of a quick overview. So Control right click, Alt right click, Control right click zooms in and out. Left click in empty space. It's the number one brush to add some layers of clay. I'm going to bring the clay out. Go. Let me just add some. Just go for and add some hair. Then, whoa. Now, when you do hair, you want to turn symmetry off, right? And sometimes you do hair, you want to like maybe um, make it asymmetrical. Maybe make it as a separate mesh. But since we're just doing quick sculpt sketches here, no one's worried about that too much, right? There we go. And I'll just turn symmetry off for a moment. So turn symmetry off, and then I can go in here and really kind of, you never want symmetrical hair. It looks really bizarre unless it's like super graphical character. Even in the Peanuts and Rick and Morty, they're not symmetrical, which looks odd because it's so unnatural. It's a bad design to do symmetrical hair or even a symmetrical face. There we go. Okay, so I'll turn symmetry back on again, and then hopefully it can still be symmetrical down on the face where it is symmetrical, even though it's not symmetrical any longer on the hair. So we'll go back up the symmetry level here. And now we can go to some of the other fun brushes like the flatten brush, which is 5. So I can go in here, and the default on the flatten brush is really want to chisel out the major forms. Let me undo those strokes, maybe down subdivision. There we go. So try to flatten and chisel out the main forms of the face, and use your the reference they gave you, the anatomy reference, to make some good decisions on where the planes of the face. So you're trying to capture the planes of the face. And this is one of the biggest mistakes. This would be like my top 5 list of mistakes that beginners make, is they really they get marshmallowy and they don't trust that they have to know these planes to do good sculptural technique. And so back to 1 again, if I can bring that jaw back out. And yeah, it's something to embrace. You want to embrace these shapes, these major planes, and keep angles, keep some sharp angles in there when you can. The next one in there, the crease tool, also, like if you want to do like a sharp hairline, let me turn symmetry off again, and I could go in here and really crease out where I want some of the peaks and valleys of the hair to be. There we go. And maybe around the, go back down to the face, turn symmetry back on again, and I could carve up to the higher symmetry level. I could carve back in some shapes here, hold down Alt to bring the shape back out again. So if I want to like bring that eyelid out, that. There we go, that'll work. And I think by default here, I'm making kind of an older person's face. I haven't really thought about age, race, gender, or any of that. I'm just making a person. Like however your imagination runs on this is fine. Now, what's fun, if I want to like exaggerate this, let me just smooth that out a little. It's kind of getting weird. There we go. Just hold down Shift to smooth your strokes out a little. Now, what I can do with this is go back down the lower subdivisions, go to 0, go to my move tool, and I can make like massive changes on this. I could really make some cartoony-esque, exaggerated graphical designs, right? And there we go. Maybe they could go really crazy. And you could do some really intense like shape play and graphical designs with this. Maybe the nose is tiny little nose. There you go. And let's see what happens when you go. This is the subdivision multi-resolution digital sculpting technique that's really important for everyone to know. So if I go back up, look at this. All the details still there, right? And this is where I can make facial expressions, change the design on the fly so fast that you can't do with regular clay, right? I could not do that with regular clay. I'm still using the move brush and then holding down Shift, smoothing out a little bit, and then I can go back to the crease brush here and you zoom in here. So Alt right mouse and then Control right mouse, zoom in, and now I can go in here and using the crease brush I can define the separation for the lips. Hold down Alt, bring that back up again, hold down Shift and smooth it out just a tiny bit. And if the Shift is really melting away my detail, as you hold Shift, just lower down the intensity way down, and that should definitely help you out. And I can go underneath here and go to 1, make it a little bit smaller, and we can define more of the bony protrusions. There we go. And hold down Shift, smooth it out some more. And maybe go to the nostrils of the nose here and maybe bring that bulb, the cartilage of the nose out some more here. And maybe the bump there. Hold down Shift, smooth it back out again. And if I need to push some of this part in right here, I would hold down Alt and I would maybe push some of that back in under the brow, hold down Shift, smooth it back out again. Go back to my crease tool and I can redefine the bags under the eye socket. I can hold down Alt, pull the tip of that eyelid back out some more. Same thing, upper eyelid overlaps the lower eyelid just a little bit down back here to the tear duct, and then push back in between there and really kind of play around with where I want the wrinkles to be for this character. Right? So that is SculptGL. It's really fun, lightweight app, and that's just to give you an idea of the interface and the play. And I'm going to go back in here and play with some sculpts. But before I finish, let's save this. So I'll go save SGL file. So we'll go save digital first head sculpts, and we'll go elder underscore. So I have this different file. Save under, and if we want to use this in a different application, I'll go and save it OBJ. Uh-oh, did it just crash? Oh, I thought it did for a second. First digital sculpt elder, and then this is OBJ's object file. So that's the most basic 3D file you can get is the OBJ file. So once we do that, if Sculptress is working all right, let's open up Sculptress. What I can do now is take this over to Sculptress. So I want you to play with both of these applications. And inside of Sculptress, you have the has a little bit better interface. So E, R, T, D, F, G, and C, V, B. So for this one, we can go in here and we can import the OBJ we just made. So you can go back and forth between these applications and grab this old lady, make a new scene, and it has mapping. Go to paint. No, don't paint just quite yet. Oh, and it crashed. Boo! And that was on my video I just recorded. Dang. Ah, so annoying. Let's go. So save OBJ. I don't know why it would do that. All right, that's really annoying. Let's try it again. See if I have to maybe record a different video. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I'll just stop there and see what the heck's going on, and we'll come back and we'll load this into Sculpture.